Good morning. Morning. Let me open the blinds for a bit brighter light. Because I don't really feel to turn on the light. Let's see how it goes with just the blinds open. Let's see. It's a little bit brighter. Yes, it is brighter. Ooh. Good morning. Let me see if I turn on the light because I want it bright. Yeah. Yes, it is brighter. What happened? I turn on the light and then I close the blind a little bit. Okay, because I face my back toward outside. We don't want danger. All right, so I'm here with a video. I thank God we went to sleep and we get up. We thank God for the respiration, the oxygen that He provides every morning. It's renewed every morning. I'm grateful. I'm grateful simply because I am breathing every morning I wake up. Those who want me dead witness the work of God through me because I am proof that God exists. I am proof that God is real. I am proof that God protects His own. A group of individuals gathered on my behalf last night. Oh, Jimayo, how could we first death spell on my name? So fast, God does not play about me. And the gods that He put behind me, beside me, around me, above me, do not play. Can you believe? Growing up, you're hearing dreams from your mother. She would lay down and then wake up while her father, her deceased father, is pushing her out of hell. While the father doesn't even go to hell. My grandfather is in heaven. Or let's say it is the pit. When you go to, when you first die, the very first place that you enter, which I believe that's purgatory. So my mom used to explain these dreams. She was in the United States at that time, and then she left us in Haiti. When she returned, I believe she entered December 31st of 1989, but we did not see her until 2000, not 2009, 99. Let's say, I don't know, they want me stutter, I don't stutter. That will pass. Whoever, they're crazy. Okay. So now, the dream went like this. When she returned to Haiti, she returned with some psychotic problem. But me, I was never really home to hear the stories. Maybe that's why people they choose to hate me because I don't give my time for nonsense. You need help carrying a heavy something heavy, I'll put it on my head, I'll put it on my shoulder, I'll carry it for you. You need help for something else, like you need food, I will help. But when it comes to talking about somebody, I never give time for this. So my mom would be talking about my dad. It was always about my dad, my dad, my dad. My dad did this, my dad did that. But guess what? They both were locks. You hear me talking about people now, it's not just people. These are people that I am related by blood, although we don't have the same DNA. But these are people that are part of my story. There is a difference. So now we making my storyline, and then I discuss things about what I experienced, what they have done, and what I do to fight back. Because I will not hold what I do bad back. Because my life is in God's hands, and God is always with me. That's what people might not like when I say. God is always with me. This is why I cannot do the spell. I cannot. No, I might do the spell in a reversal kind of way, meaning I'm gathering your energy and sending it back. But me, as far as I choose Nelland, and they say I want Nelland dead, and then I'll do a ritual and send a death energy towards Nelland now, meaning then I'm the offender. So I cannot offend nobody. Okay, not even if I try. But sometimes I try to gather emotion, and then make a prayer. Do you know one day I did that, and then God said to me, it is not the emotion that I'm looking for. Read the words to me. Read my words, the Bible. This is why when I pray, I use the Bible's words, which is the word of God, to seal my prayer. All right. So my mom used to explain what she experienced in her sleep. At one time, on her birthday, it was in the 1980s. She said that on her birthday, my dad went to visit her, and with no gift, nothing. But the thing is that she said that my dad said, "Here, I have something for you." His hands were closed, and she said, "Nadia, I have something for you." And my mom was reluctant in opening her hands to receive what he said he had. So he insisted. He said, "Come on, I have something for you." When she finally opened her hand, my dad now opening his hand and dropping some coins, 7 dimes. Most likely, people would use the pennies because of the copper color, but he dropped 7 dime in my mom's hands. So when my mom noticed it was coins and dimes, she pulled back her hands and said, "Jonas, what are you doing? Why you bring me dimes and coins for my birthday?" And my dad, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the rest of it, but that's what caught my attention at that time. I was 15. When she returned to Haiti, I was 15 years old. When she went to sleep that night, she find herself between realms. In the realms that she find herself, non-specific, but in between realms. I come to understand it's in between realms because it looks like her life was not proper. But she keep claiming my dad to be the devil, but she does the same thing. I come to realize it because it's not people telling me, it's me witness my mom at work. My son said to my mom, "You're too old for this," because we're watching her. She pretend to watch something outside on the window, and then she would open the door and then close the door. We all understood her actions. The action was like the purpose was to open the door for whatever they call on to open the door and let them in, meaning willingly open the door for the spirits to enter. Because as she opened the door, there is a dark entity that enters. It looks like she didn't know exactly what I could see and how much I could see. At that time, I had X-ray vision. X-ray vision. I don't know how many people listening that took X-ray class. I took X-ray because when I went for my medical assisting class, I registered for associate degree. Therefore, I had medical assisting / X-ray, basic X-ray. Yeah, in classroom, I look at X-rays. I was taught what to look for and how to look at it. All right. So at that time, I had X-ray vision. Now, in between realms, when you find yourself, you go to sleep and you find yourself in between realms, there is something you need to fix between you and God. Because you should have a destination. She said, when she find herself, she realized that she was in a realm, she noticed she had to clock in. Pay attention. It feels like she is at work and she has to clock in, meaning making her presence known by clocking in. But she didn't rush into clocking in, but she sees other individuals walking. And when she finally take her cards to punch, at that time, you remember in New York, I don't know where else, New York, New Jersey, they used to have a clock and you have a card with your name and then you swipe it just like you swipe a credit card. That's how at those times you used to, because I use to be in New Jersey in the 90s. I worked somewhere that I had to do this, swipe a card to clock in. Okay, I didn't like it because when after you clock in it, you don't take it with you. You put it in a slot, something where everybody clock in and put it back. I didn't like it. Okay, so when she take her cards to swipe, she heard the voice of her father. The voice of her father, which is my grandfather, who loved me very much. I find out from my aunt that my grandfather loved me very much. My grandfather, or let's say her father, was kind of pushing her out of the place she was. You sleep, you find yourself in between realms, and then your father, who is in heaven, comes and then try to push you out of where you are. This means if you die and you don't wake up at that time, you go to hell. So now the father push her out and say, Nadia, what are you doing here? And Nadia said, I don't know, Father, I don't know. She talked to her dad. She knows, she identified that was her dad. And she said, I don't know. They just sent me here. I don't know why I'm here. And then the father said, it's not your time yet to be here. You cannot be here. And then her father pushed her. First, before her father pushed her father took the card. Before she swapped it, before she swapped it, the father took the card and said, listen, let me clock you in. I clock for you. The father clocked for her. He didn't let her swipe herself. She would have been dead. She would not wake up. He took the card and said, I will clock you in. And push her. And when she woke up, she found herself in her bed, but she noticed that she had died, y'all. She had died, y'all. Not pennies, the dimes. 7 pieces of dimes that my father had placed in her hand when she was awake, standing in the living room. There is a lot in this universe for people to learn about, and that might even help people to appreciate life. Appreciate life. Another story she told, when she was 15, 1-5. When she was 15, she was about to die. Her father loved her a lot. There is a lot of parallel between my mother, my earth mother, and me. She was about to die when she was 15. I have a point I'm making here. Her father didn't want her to die young, 15. Something had happened and then she was dying. Her father was a true servant of God. True servant of God, although his bloodline had a lot of secret that was never told to me. But he himself revealed certain things to me when I sleep. The only thing I didn't know who was feeding me all this information until this year. This year, I find out it was my grandfather. Listen, my grandfather, her father, prayed and addressed God and asked God for 15 more years to be added to her life. When her father prayed and asked God for 15 more years, what you ask for is what you get. Now, when she turned 30, she already had all her 5 children. At 30 years old, she was dying again. When she was dying at that time, my grandfather, her father, ended up praying God again to, this time, not to add years to her time. The thing that my grandfather asked for at that time, God, take me in her place. This has a lot of weight for your father to go and address God and say, God, when I prayed for her and I asked 15 years, I realized it was too short. Now she's 30, she's dying again. Take me in her place. When she asked to survive, and then the father supposed to die in her place, okay, one thing now, I don't want to lose track of what I was saying, but that thing that keeps appearing on the wall is a white, a white triangle, not triangle, a white rectangle, huge. It doesn't want to be seen because every time I put the camera on that thing, it fades, but still there. This is new. This started yesterday. So whatever they were doing yesterday, bring an entity that wants to talk to me. That thing has something to say. That thing wants to talk. Okay. When her father asked God to take him in her place, my grandfather ended up being somewhere that they give him a injection that he was not supposed to take. When you're diabetic, certain medicine, certain injection you're not supposed to take. So my grandfather ended up in a hospital where they give him that injection. But while he was dying, he didn't just die. He was a true servant of God at the time he was dying. He calls for his wife, my grandmother. He called for his wife. When he talks to his wife, he said, come with everybody, with the children. Now, there were some in the capital, there were some in different places, so I don't know exactly what happened. But when my grandmother went there, my grandfather was praying. He was praying and praying and praying and praying. You hear pray? He says, I'm making prayer buckets. That's how he said. That's what I was told. He said he's making prayer buckets for all his children. And now my mother was the only child of his that had 5 kids. The first child didn't have no kids yet. He was not even married yet. That was a servant of God. He didn't want to have sex before marriage, because the story told that Rachel was a virgin when my uncle found her. Okay. With the prayer buckets that my grandfather was making for his children, he also made for his grandchildren. Do you know some prayers, sometimes I don't pray? I would say, God, please use the prayers that my grandfather did for me. My mom does the same thing. Now, this is where I really wanted to come to. How exactly your dad, you are proud, you feel happy to say that your dad took death for you, and then you trying to kill your daughter in your place. Make it make sense. How exactly your dad took death for you, at the age of 30, my grandmother was about 42, 42, 44, and never remarried, not even a boyfriend, never. Never remarried after my grandfather died. Do you know what she said? She said she had a good husband, she will not change her last name. Yeah. So your father took death for you. Make it make sense. Because you were 30 years old and he didn't want you to die at that age. And then you, in the 60s now, you decided to kill your daughter with her 3 children, 3 light children for that matter. For what? Because you become the enemy of God. You make yourself an enemy of God. Because if you want to destroy light, you are God's enemy. Why don't you go and walk the street and kill criminals? You want to kill people. If that's what you want to do, walk down the street and find criminals to kill. Don't kill light. Receive light, embrace it. So you feel like the child that God chose was not the right one to you. You think you can play Rachel. Not Rachel, Rebecca. You can play the role of Rebecca in the Bible. People tend to use Bible stories for their life, but do you know sometimes people choose Bible stories that does not align with their life? Rebecca didn't perform witchcraft to steal Isaac's fortune and give it to Jacob. That's not what he did. She did. She asked, excuse me, she asked Jacob to go get ingredient to make soup, plate that the husband loved. That's what he did. She did. She prepared it and then gave it to Jacob and sent to his dad. Take it to his dad. No ritual there. Everything is ritual if you understand the word ritual. But what I'm saying is that no iniquity, no witchcraft. God's hands are on this woman. And even then, she's trying to destroy me with my 3 children. She's talking about what her dad did when she was 30, taking death in her place. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I said to her last year, if you die, you see your father didn't go to heaven. Understand what I said? If and only if you die and you see your father where you go, your father didn't go to heaven. This is to assure her she's going to hell. Because her father is now has ascended to a higher realm of heaven. I believe due to the work I have done in the bloodline, because I broke the curse. The family curse, I broke it since last year, which I have broken in 2021. But these two individuals in the bloodline kept calling back that spirit, Nadia and Clarence. People need to know that Nadia is not who they have thought. She is not who they believe she was. She was a witch growing up, no bad, and she hid it well. The tea got cold very fast because of the fan above. Wow, it doesn't make sense. Now tell me, how should I call that video? Because I never really come with a topic. But I know that I came to talk about my mother's story told. Now, I don't know about the dream she had when she was in New Jersey. I don't know how true it is, but the story of my grandfather dying in her place was told by other people in the family. My aunt told them something is pinching me. It's not itch, it's like a pinch, but it feels like an ant biting. Do you know every single disease that woman find out she has in her body, she was transferring to me? So if I didn't know who I was, I would have died already. Every single thing she had in her blood, in her body, she was transferring to me and my daughter. Who is that inside that rectangle? Who are you? Listen, Claire must die. She must die to leave me alone. My pastor said that many times, my former pastor. Some enemies that are bothering you, offending you, got to die before you live your life the right way. That entity moves. It moves, it wants to talk. It wants to talk, y'all. I'm telling you, that entity is huge, it's not small. And it wants to talk. Hmm. What spirit come as a picture frame? Like somebody, a man in a picture frame. You see how the back here is all white, and then you see the head of the person. You see the head and you see the shoulder, like you see me here. But the difference is that this is also all white. but it carries a shadow sometimes. It doesn't. Let me. This woman doesn't want to stay out of my energy. May God let my energy be the toxin that poison her. This is my prayer. Let my energy be the toxin that poison her. Let me end the video. I might come back today with another one because I know that Abraham said enough is enough. These people need to read Psalm 55 every morning, every noon, every midnight, along with Psalm 70. That will help them. That will help them. They don't have no soul. So what are they afraid for? I don't know. They need to read Psalm 55. Nadia and Cleos must read Psalm 55. That will help them. Oh, Heavenly Father, thank you. I give you praise, I give you honor, I give you gratitude for me being here today. And that's where I leave it. What should I call that?